November 12th, 11:42 at night. The storm that had descended upon Blackwood County wasn't just a weather event, it was a cage. The rain hammered against the roof of the patrol cruiser with the rhythmic violence of 1,000 tiny fists, drowning out the world, drowning out the radio static, drowning out thoughts. Sheriff Silas Grant sat in his cruiser, parked on the shoulder of Route 9. The engine idled, a low, vibrating hum that traveled up through the seat and settled in his bones. He was 38 years old, but tonight, beneath the fluorescent wash of the dashboard lights, he felt ancient. His reflection in the rearview mirror showed a man eroded by the job, heavy stubble shading a jaw that was usually clenched, dark circles under eyes that had seen too many accidents and too few miracles. The interior of the car smelled of stale coffee, old leather, and the damp metallic scent of the gun on his hip. It was a lonely smell, the kind of smell that clings to a man who goes home to an empty house and talks to no one but dispatch. Silas reached out, his hand rough and scarred, and turned up the heater. The vents groaned, blasting dry, hot air against his freezing knuckles. He was about to shift the car into drive, to surrender to the storm and head home, when the headlights caught a disruption in the darkness. It wasn't a deer, it wasn't a shadow, it was a figure, walking on the white line of the highway, miles from the nearest house, walking with the slow, dragging gait of someone who has nowhere left to go. Silas cursed under his breath, a sharp, violent sound in the enclosed space. He slammed on the brakes. The cruiser's tires hissed against the wet asphalt, hydroplaning for a terrifying fraction of a second before biting into the road. He flipped the switch. Red and blue lights exploded into the night, cutting through the curtain of rain like strobe lights in a nightmare. The figure didn't stop. They kept walking, head down, as if they were already dead and the lights didn't matter. Silas threw the door open. The storm hit him instantly, a wall of freezing wind and water that soaked his uniform shirt in seconds. He stepped out, his boots sinking into the mud of the shoulder. "Hey!" Silas roared, his voice fighting the wind. "Hey! Stop right there!" The figure stumbled. They turned slowly, lethargically. Silas froze. In the harsh, alternating glare of red and blue, he saw a boy. He couldn't be more than 18. He was drowning in a grey hoodie that was 3 sizes too big, the heavy, waterlogged fabric dragging him down. He wore no coat, no gloves, just canvas sneakers that were completely ruined by the mud. Silas marched forward, adrenaline spiking in his blood. This wasn't a vagrant, this was a child. "You're out of your mind," Silas yelled, closing the distance. "It's 30 degrees out here. Where is your car?" The boy looked at him. His face was a pale, translucent mask of exhaustion. His lips were a shocking shade of violet. He was shivering so violently that his entire frame vibrated, a leaf caught in a gale. "No car," the boy whispered. The wind stole the words, but Silas read them on the trembling lips. Silas reached out, his instinct to protect overriding everything else. He grabbed the boy's arm. Through the soaked hoodie, the arm felt terrifyingly thin. The boy flinched, a sharp, instinctive jerk away, as if he expected a blow. Silas loosened his grip instantly, but didn't let go. He softened his voice, dropping it to a low, grounding rumble. "I'm not going to hurt you, son, but you are dying out here. Look at me." The boy looked up. His eyes were wide, dark, and filled with a shattering amount of fear. It wasn't just fear of the sheriff, it was fear of the world. I can't go back," the boy chattered, his teeth clicking together audibly. "Please, don't take me back." "I'm not taking you back anywhere," Silas promised, pulling him gently but firmly toward the cruiser. "I'm taking you out of the rain. That is the only deal I'm making. Get in the car." The boy hesitated, looking at the warm, glowing interior of the police car like it was a spaceship. Then the cold one. He slumped, allowing Silas to guide him into the passenger seat. The drive to the station was silent, save for the frantic slapping of the windshield wipers. The boy, Noah, he had whispered his name was Noah, sat huddled against the door, hugging his knees. He was shaking so hard that the seatbelt buckle rattled against the plastic. Silas drove with one hand on the wheel, his eyes flicking constantly to the passenger seat. He cranked the heat up to the maximum. The car became a sauna, but Noah was still shivering. When they arrived at the station, it was deserted. The night shift dispatcher had called in sick. It was just the two of them. Silas unlocked the front door and ushered Noah inside. The station smelled of floor wax, old paper and safety. The fluorescent lights hummed overhead, a stark, sterile buzz that felt oddly comforting compared to the chaos outside. "Sit," Silas commanded gently, pointing to the cot in the open holding cell. "Strip off that hoodie, it's freezing water, you'll get hypothermia." Noah stood in the middle of the room, water pooling around his sneakers. He looked at Silas with terrified hesitation, his arms wrapped around his chest. Silas realised his mistake. He turned his back. "I'm going to get you a towel and something dry. Take it off, Noah, I'm not looking." He went to his locker in the back room. His hands were shaking slightly. He grabbed a thick, rough wool blanket and his spare flannel shirt, a red and black plaid thing that was huge, even on him. When he returned, Noah was sitting on the cot, shirtless, shivering violently. His skin was pale as marble, his ribs visible beneath the surface. He looked fragile, like something made of glass that had already been dropped once. Silas walked over, his movements slow and deliberate, telegraphing every action. He draped the heavy blanket over Noah's shoulders, tucking it tight around his neck. "Here," Silas said, his voice gruff with suppressed emotion. He handed Noah a steaming mug of black tea, heavily sugared. "Wrap your hands around it."
"Don't drink it, just hold it." Noah obeyed. He clutched the ceramic mug like a lifeline. The steam rose up, caressing his face. Silas pulled his desk chair over and sat down, sitting backwards, leaning his arms on the backrest. He was close enough to feel the cold radiating off the boy, but far enough to give him space. "Talk to me, Noah," Silas said softly. The interrogation tone was gone. This was just a man speaking to a boy. "You said you couldn't go back. Who are you running from?" Noah stared into the dark liquid of the tea. A tear leaked out, hot and fast, tracking through the dirt on his cheek. "My stepdad," Noah whispered. The voice was brittle. He went into my room while I was at school. He found my sketchbook." Silas narrowed his eyes. "He hit you because of a sketchbook?" "No," Noah shook his head. "He didn't hit me. He burned it in the backyard." Noah looked up, and the pain in his eyes was raw, an open wound. It was full of drawings of guys, of people like me. Silas felt a cold, hard rage solidify in his gut. It was a familiar feeling, the desire to hurt those who hurt the weak, but he pushed it down. Noah didn't need his anger right now. He needed his calm. "You told me to get out," Noah continued, his voice breaking. "He said he wouldn't have a freak under his roof, so I just started walking." "You are not a freak," Silas said. He didn't say it loud, but the words carried the weight of a stone dropping into a canyon. Absolute, unmovable. Noah looked at Silas, searching for the lie. He didn't find one. "You don't even know me," Noah whispered. "I know you walked 10 miles in a storm because you have dignity," Silas replied. "That tells me enough." 2 hours passed. The rain outside softened to a steady, rhythmic drumming. The station felt suspended in time, a bubble of warmth in a cold universe. Noah had put on Silas's flannel shirt. It swallowed him whole, the sleeves rolled up 3 times to reveal his hands. He looked ridiculously small in it, but finally warm. Silas hadn't moved. He was watching Noah breathe. The rhythm of the boy's chest rising and falling was hypnotic. "You live alone?" Noah asked suddenly, breaking the long silence. He was looking at the photos on Silas's desk, pictures of a dog that had passed away years ago, a landscape, no people. Yeah, Silas grunted. Just me and the job. Is it lonely? The question was too personal, too direct. Silas looked at Noah. The boy was leaning forward, the blanket slipping off one shoulder. His hair was drying in soft, messy waves. Sometimes, Silas admitted, it was the truth. Most of the time, I'm too tired to notice. I'm always lonely, Noah said simply. Even in a room full of people, I feel like I'm on a different frequency, like I'm screaming and no one hears it. Silas felt a tightening in his chest. He knew that frequency. He had been broadcasting on it for 10 years. I hear you, Silas said. The words hung in the air, heavy and charged. Noah went still. He looked at Silas, really looked at him, at the gray in his beard, the scars on his hands, the badge that usually kept people away. Why are you being so nice to me? Noah asked, his voice trembling. You're the sheriff. I'm just some runaway. Because, Silas leaned in, bridging the gap between them. I know what it looks like when someone is drowning, Noah, and I'm not going to let you go under. Noah reached out. His hand, warm now, hovered in the air, then settled on Silas's knee. It was a tentative, terrified touch, a question. Silas stopped breathing. The weight of Noah's hand was nothing, but it anchored him to the floor. He looked at the long, artistic fingers against the rough denim of his uniform jeans. Slowly, giving Noah every second to pull back, Silas covered Noah's hand with his own. His hand was twice the size, rough, calloused, a weapon and a shield. He didn't squeeze, he just held. You have safe hands, Noah whispered, his eyes tracking up to meet Silas's gaze. The fear was gone, replaced by a desperate, aching need. Noah, Silas warned, his voice a low rumble of gravel. You're vulnerable right now. You tired. Don't mistake gratitude for something else. I'm not, Noah insisted. He slid off the cot, dropping to his knees on the floor between Silas's legs. The submissive, pleading posture made Silas's heart hammer against his ribs. Please, just don't make me feel alone right now. Please. Silas looked down at the boy. He saw the need for connection, for validation, for someone to prove that he wasn't broken. Come here, Silas breathed. He reached out and cupped Noah's face with both hands. His thumbs brushed over the high cheekbones, rough skin against soft. Noah leaned into the touch, his eyes fluttering closed, a soft sound escaping his throat. Silas tilted Noah's head up. He leaned down. The first touch of their lips was barely a touch at all, a ghost of a sensation, a question asked and answered. Then Noah surged up, grabbing Silas's wrists, and the kiss deepened. It wasn't hungry or sexual in a cheap way. It was desperate. It tasted of tea and tears. It was the collision of two lonely orbits, finally finding a center of gravity. Silas groaned low in his throat, his protective instinct twisting into something possessive. He would burn the world down before he let anyone hurt this boy again. The sun came up slowly, a pale, watery gold that washed over the wet asphalt of the parking lot. Silas stood on the porch of the station, a fresh cup of coffee in his hand. The air was crisp, smelling of wet earth and pine needles. The storm was gone. The door behind him creaked open. Noah stepped out. He was still wearing Silas's flannel shirt, the cuffs fraying at the edges. He looked tired, his eyes puffy, but the haunted look was gone. He leaned against the door frame, hugging himself against the morning chill. Silas turned. He didn't smile. Silas Grant rarely smiled, but his eyes were soft. Morning, Silas said. Morning, Noah replied. His voice was shy but steady. Does the offer still stand? Breakfast? Silas walked over to him. He didn't care who saw. He didn't care about the badge or the town or the gossip. He reached out and brushed a stray lock of hair from Noah's forehead. The offer stands, Silas said firmly. Breakfast.
Then we go get your things. Then we go to my place. The guest room is empty. Noah looked at him, hope blooming in his chest like a painful, beautiful flower. You sure? I'm a lot of trouble, Sheriff. Silas rested his hand on the back of Noah's neck, grounding him. I can handle trouble, Noah. I'm the law. Noah laughed. It was a small, cracked sound, but it was real. Silas steered him towards the cruiser. The road ahead was still wet, but the sun was shining, and for the first time in a decade, the sheriff wasn't driving alone.